ribbon stage. So right now it's not, you know, we're not at ribbon stage. I'm keeping an eye on my mignonette too, because I want to reduce that down to a set. So the sides, if I put my hand here, is hot, the bottom is still cool. So I really need to control that measure, right? I'm removing it on and off the heat. If it starts to get too warm, what do you have? Your side towels, right? So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a little splash, just a little bit of acid, maybe a spoonful of that mignonette, just a spoonful as it's reducing down. This will help give me some volume. If you break this, it's just like breaking a mayonnaise. So let's talk about that. So let's say you add your clarified butter too fast. It's going to break. If you cook your egg yolks in here and it becomes little chunks, you're going to have to break it completely. Let's say it gets too hot. You need to then break it completely and straighten off the clarified butter so you're not wasting any product. So put it through what you want. If you add your butter too fast, what can you do? You can cry.
Add another egg.
You can start fresh with another egg, and then instead of adding more clarified butter, add just like a little bit of clarified butter, and then add this as your the rest of your ingredients, just like we do when we break a mayonnaise. So you can see that it's starting to change color, starting to get a little bit more pale and thicker, right?
Yes.
The other thing is, if you don't cook it enough, this will just be foamy, and you'll never get clarification. This needs to get to a certain temperature to be able to start getting a nice emulsification. To get to that soft consistency. Sorry? It's probably something like 100 and maybe 135 or so. I know, that's why we put a little warning sign on it, maybe 130, if that, maybe 125. But I know that it's one of the reasons why we put, you know, the verifier on there. Like, if you consume this product, you know, you need to be careful because it'll suck for you. If you have a compromised immune system, or you're a transplant, or you're sick, or whatever, because you can possibly get salmonella, because it technically is really eggs. So let's look at these eggs. Let's look at how they look in here. So they're starting to get ribbon stage. I can see it sitting on top of itself, right? It's thicker, it's paler, a whole lot different than just what we started with, yeah? So it's kind of closer to what her thermometer looks like, yeah? I'm going to risk it and just go a little bit more. So also when I'm doing this, one of the things I'm looking for is, can I see my whisked stripe on the bottom stay? And it is. All right, so now I have nice, delicious, nice warm egg, right? So, yeah, and you can see when I'm whisking, you can see the bottom of the bowl. Nice and thick, like cake batter, yeah? So I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna take a look at my mignonette and let it do its thing. So now I have this hot water, my clarified butter that's hot, and my warm eggs, because I need to keep this, I don't wanna put a cold, you know, a cold sauce on my warm eggs, right? So I'm gonna do this where this is gonna continue to cook it. So I'm going to take this and it's, you know, gently keeping it warm. I'm going to also continue to cook. So what I'm going to do is try to get in maybe 6 ounces. So starting off with, ooh, I just splattered myself a little moisturizer there in the morning. Starting off slow in the beginning, drip by drip by drip, right? If I add it in too fast, I'm in trouble. I'm also keeping an eye on my mignonette. So 2 ounces, right? Obviously you start with 2 ounce ladle. Really, nothing's in here more than just eggs and butter, right? Just like a little splash of mignonette. And 4. Just like mayonnaise. And this is really going to make it stiff, this last bit.
Actually, that first one looks
Just like your mayonnaise, your emulsification, would you hold this over your head?
no.
I keep splashing myself. Sometimes you can only get like 5 ounces in here. It all depends how lucky you get. So see how it's getting solid, more and more solid, more and more. So let's, so I got a wad of egg right here, huh? Now what do I do? Well, I have my mignonette here. It's reduced down au sec. And I have my lemon juice that I'm going to reconstitute it with. So I have some fresh lemon juice in with my stuff and my things. And I had a hand, here's another little hand strainer here. I'm going to add a little bit of this hot. I didn't need all of it. Let's see how much I can get out of there. Maybe I can get maybe just a little bit more. Just because I like plain Russian roulette here.
Now at this point, can you add any more clarified butter?
No.
No. If you wanted it thicker, you could not.
It won't be, yeah, no.
You can't pull back and get it thicker ever after you add.
No, once this is, once this is done, technically it's done. So it should be warm, right? Thick. Lemony. Hollandaise. Now you're scraping on the, careful not to scrape on the sides. But see, this is still warm. If you put your hand here, this is still, huh? It should probably, it's probably gonna taste a little different than what you tasted downstairs. Yeah, because I have popcorn on it now. Absolutely. Right. You can add things like in there. You can make a mayonnaise adding tarragon, right?
I'm gonna look over the weekend and find something that we can just put our phone in right here.
So when you guys do this on Monday, you can keep that warm and you can have your hot water here.
Yeah, see, mine won't work for that, but mine goes into my air vent. So yeah, I could probably put mine like right about here. Until it turns the stove on.
So it tastes a little different than downstairs.
Usually they don't put this flavor in.
It's always plastically added in.
So Alex, I'll send you what I have and you can put them together and put them on YouTube. I'm not allowed to put stuff on YouTube anymore. I copyrighted too many times. I made 3 videos I copyrighted too many times. I didn't get DBZ permission to use them. I didn't get Monkey Soul permission to use them. Same video. Yeah. How many people? was thinking about getting a real camera and a tripod. But like right back here.
So the other reason why we need Blair, well, let's do a couple things. Let's make some poach while we're getting our ingredients. So you will add. If you don't have a lid, a bowl where I think I have a lid back here, smaller. So I don't have anything in here.
Does it really make a difference to have your eggs room temperature or
Yeah, room temperature eggs always perform better. Yeah. So when you're cracking eggs, that's fine. So I'm just going to add in I have this much in here. I'm just going to add in just a little bit of vinegar. Just a little bit, not too much, right?
We gotta take a break.
Does everybody know Chef Figler? I don't know
Nope.
if you've met him now.
Yeah, we do.
Introduce me.
right, Chef?
Good morning, everybody. Make it sugar.
I will.
Yes.
I will give you some. You're on the right day, sir.
You know what? I went to go get eggs, but my chickens haven't been laying. They went from like 8 a day down to
cold
like 3.
outside. They don't like
Well, no, they have a heat lamp.
Oh.
They're mad at us because we gave them less space to roam around. We actually put a fence around them. They're
Oh.
mad at us. Bitches.
Bastard.
I thought that was female dogs.
Huh?
I thought that was a female dog.
Watch yourself, Jersey.
Is it?
So,
I can't take him too seriously, Chef. He came in with like a strawberry smoothie this morning.
Strawberry banana.
Strawberry, oh, even better. Strawberry banana.
See what you got to look for?
He's all tough because he's from Jersey.
let's look at this egg. Let's look at the
Only real
structure
men
of the
carry
egg
paint,
itself.
man.
Sorry.
So, come on over here. So, this white part, because we're going to do the PowerPoint after. This white part here has an awesome name. This is like it's shock absorbers, right? Or the shocks in the car. So this is called the Chalaise. This is what holds the egg in the middle. So otherwise it'd sink to the bottom, and then you'd have all sorts of scrambled eggs. So it needs
Or in
to.
S&M terms, that's the chains that hold you.
Break is over.
I'm only here for one day.
I know. You don't even talk about parsley over there. Go on, go. He was A and B for a long time. That's another little brother. I have all sorts of little brothers around here. So let's talk about, let's say this little bit of shell. There's a tiny bit of shell. Egg wants to go back into its shell always. See how it kind of just goes right back in there? Then you can pull out what you need. Boom. Same thing with yolk. It wants to go back into its shell. It wants to go home. So keeping it all intact. If you need to use your egg whites, right, to whip them up high, what are you looking for?
The big stick thing.
The big one is down. I don't know.
No, I took it next door last night.
And you didn't bring it back? Mm-hmm. So if you want your eggs to whip up nice and high, like for a meringue, right, you're going to use only egg white. If there's any fat in the bowl, it won't whip up, or it won't whip up as well. If there's any egg yolk, which is fat, right, lecithin, right, and it won't whip up as well. So if I accidentally break like the, and I'll do this with another one. If I accidentally break the yolk, I can try to save it. I have a little swimmer. I can try to save it by letting it swim back into its home. So let's talk about poaching. And by the way, the Chalaise, it doesn't make any difference. It's not. You don't have to remove it. In fact, if you do remove it, you might possibly pierce it. So removing it is not an option, and not necessary, I should say. So I just threw egg in there. See that? So the theory of the vortex versus